It's May, and we're working on the LSE. Lucky I didn't shoot this intro yesterday because I was in my shorts and t-shirt. It was beautiful. Today it's inclement. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Please subscribe, even if you think you are, double check. If you kind of not subscribed, then why ever not? I don't understand. It does help the channel to grow, is all I'm going to say, in some way or another. If you want to contact me, Churchhouse Classics, and that's all one word, at gmail.com. There's only one of me. Might take me a while to get back to you, but I'll do my best. And if you want to support the channel, and every single donation is really gratefully received, then there's a PayPal me link scrolling down here. Both my email and the PayPal me link are in the description below this feature. Enjoy it. Okie dokie. Mirror switch. I've got some problems with this mirror switch. The mirrors do not operate at all. So ignition on, seat operates, mirrors nothing. In fact, we don't need the ignition on, so we can do this without the ignition. So what I'll do is I've got the switch because the dash is apart on the Lincoln Green car, so I've borrowed the switch out of the Lincoln Green car, and we will try this in place because we know this switch works. It's got the correct style. With the memory seats, you must have the end cap on there and 5 pins. If you haven't got that, then you've got the wrong type of switch. Now the other thing is, because of the solid wood dash, you cannot get these things out easily. And I can see someone's been here before trying to get it out because it's prized away at the bottom here. The only way you can get these out is to flip the cap off, which is just a press fit, undo the collar, which you can do with it all installed in place. Once the collar's off, demonstrating beautifully here, Richard, collar comes off, then you can pull the switch housing out and leave that piece still attached inside the car. Okay, putting it back in, you don't have to worry about it. Put it all back together again and then just shove it in and it clicks into place. But that's how you get them out of the wood dash. Plastic dash, a lot easier. Wood dash is just too fat. You can see someone's been down here. There's like a bloody great lumps out of it. Really not helpful, folks. Don't do that. Right, okay, so we're just about to plug the Lincoln Green switch in, which has gone in. Oh. So it's the switch that's the problem. What about the other side? Doesn't go up and down, but it does. It's interesting it doesn't go up and down. I think that's going to be a problem with the connector on that side. I can hear the ECU clicking under the seat. Listen. So, now let's go back to here. Bit of extra diagnostics. So let's try this switch first of all. It doesn't like that switch, so we'll leave that switch on there, and let's try this toggle. So this is the customer's LSE toggle. I can tell that because I left the nose off it. Oh. Right, so we've still got up and down on that side not working, but the fault would appear to be in the customer's side-to-side selector switch, this chappy here. And it looks like it comes apart. So let's go to the bench and take it apart. Now that's encouraging, isn't it? Because it means that I don't really then have to faff around working out what's going on with the electrics and so forth. I do need to work out why that's not going up and down though, so we'll figure that out. But let's go to the bench and take this apart. There we go. Right, so we have got a broken switch. This is the switch out of the customer's car originally. Got a broken switch. It doesn't work. So let us now see if we can't... For fuck's sake. Here's the switch out of the customer's car. We are at the bench. It's broken. It doesn't work on either setting, so we've got nothing to lose by taking it apart. Now, all I'm doing here, there's two clips on each side. I'm going to take the base section out. Now, underneath here, there's the rocker that moves from one side to the other. Could just be the rocker part that's dirty. Now, let's just have a quick look. So the rest of the switch, there isn't anything really to it. There is really nothing to it. There's no springs, there's no nothing. So we'll lift the rocker out. There is a spring. The spring's underneath there. So I'm wondering if we just clean these contacts up and it will work. Contact cleaner. Ba-ba. La 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 la. Contact cleaner, grubby toothbrush, thank you James. That's done that. And that also wants... Probably shouldn't be spraying this shit on my fingers. Folks, don't spray this shit on your fingers. And that goes in there. Right, let's reassemble. Let's see if it works. Because like I say, there's nothing to it. Right, check the continuity on it. Let's get the multimeter. Ba-da-ba. This could be a... It took me longer to get the switch out of the car than it took me to work out what the fault was. And the good thing is, the customer had been told that the ECU replacement did not support electric mirrors, which is wrong. So if I go onto this pin here, and I should be getting continuity, I am, and I am, and then rocker switch the other way, no continuity, no continuity, no continuity. So I then go to this pin, and that pin, and I'm getting continuity, no continuity, oh, and continuity, no. Just going to give it another go. Just going to plug this in and see if it now works. Lovely day. You wouldn't have believed a day like this would have been possible if you'd seen what the weather was doing yesterday, which I've shown probably in a number of other videos, so I'm not going to bore you with it again in this video. Let's see if we can't get this tripod to stand up here, and we're working down here. Let's move you around a little bit. There we go. Right. So that's customers. This is customers. Keys have been taken up. Good bit of footage there, Richard. Right, sync works. Can you hear it? Fix the switch. So So this is customer's switch in its entirety. And the other side, left and right, top and bottom does nothing. So I am going to now take this apart over here and see if I can work out what's going on with that. Right, now, first thing I would do is there's two connectors in here. I would take this piece off using my plastic pry bar. Here's the two connectors. What I need to do, oh, this one's not even plugged in. It's not, it's hanging out. So I wonder if I disconnect this one. Pins aren't bent. That is looking quite grubby in there though. So let's now see if the mirror works. Still on the horizontal plane, but not on the... Why is this not closing? Oh, what's going on here? I don't want to slam it because... What are you doing, Richard? Oh, fucking lights come out the bottom of the door. Right, we're going to have to fix that because that's not right. I'll wind the window up and put the light out of the door in a minute. That's silly. Right, now, other side. Right, and right, nothing's working on there now. But I can hear the relay clicking in all four directions. So let's reconnect this. And while we're here, disconnect this one. No bent pins. Oh, it could just be the mirror unit. The motor's broken. It's like the mirror unit, which we can find out. Fucking do anything now. Right, it could well be that the motor in the mirror unit's broken. I need to find another mirror. Well, that'll be why the puddle light is leaking. Someone's had to go at gluing it in. We'll fix that properly later on. Now, I've got another mirror here. This chappie is from my stash. And that plugs in. I'll balance it up there for a second. Coming round. Right, let's see if this one works. So, where are we? Oh, we're on the wrong side. This one's got the same fault. So then it's likely to be a wiring fault to the connector. So I need to go and find out which one's which. So you can see it's still going on the left and... Sorry, you probably can't see. You can still see it's going on the left and right, but not on the up and down. Wiring diagram. I can't do, by the way, I know there's a memory... fucking clatter, bastard. I know that there's a memory check that you can do with using the memory buttons and pressing these in sequence, and everything should move around to its full extent. However, I can't do that because we haven't got the memory function on this ECU. It's this one was probably supplied by Kingsley Cars, as I'm led to believe. Very similar part is provided by a company called Proper Parts in the USA. But it's one of their ECUs that I put onto Lincoln Green. I call it Lincoln Green. Probably isn't Lincoln Green. People keep telling me it's not Lincoln Green. I like it. It's called Lincoln Green. Anyway, wiring diagram next. Save me chasing my arse around in circles here and getting very confused on this, because neither mirror on this works now. I took the ECU out of this one. It's only 6 bolts, folks. It's not difficult. Put the ECU into this one, which I know everything was working on. So, ignition is in position 2. We are currently on driver's mirror. Down, up, and I don't know if you can see that. Down, up, right, left, all working beautifully. Switch across to other mirror. Right, left, up, nothing, down, nothing. So the fault was stayed with the ECU here. All it's done is just move the passenger side from one side of the vehicle to the other. So we've got exactly the same fault on this as we have with that, but all we've swapped across is the ECU. Now, so then I thought, I'm just going to disconnect the battery here for a second. Then I thought, do you know what? Let's pop a brand spanking new Proper Part ECU into here. Just borrowing it, Gary, for a moment, please, if you don't mind. Right, okay. Connectors, switches off. One second. Right, let's just pop the battery on. Check that the ECU has power. It does. And then we've got driver's side, up, down, right, left. Okay. But the weird thing is, it's doing both at the same time. And left works in all planes. And it sort of is adjusting the driver's side, but nowhere near as much. So I'm going to take that ECU out of there before I do any further damage. Well, I'm not going to do any damage to the ECU. ECU's proven that the loom is sort of okay, but for some reason we're adjusting both mirrors at exactly the same time, which I don't understand. It could well be that there are different switches. In fact, let's try the switch from Gary's car under this circumstance, because we know it works in this car. A shot while later. Right, battery back on. Check we've got a reasonable connection on that. Check CECU. Yep. And we have got now driver's side. No, it's still moving both mirrors. There's a crossover in the loom somewhere, which is possibly what was causing the problem in the first place. There's also, I've got no ignition on, but I know that the CECU has a kind of a sleep pattern. So that possibly when the door is open, it energises the circuit and allows you to adjust seats and so forth. Otherwise, when you first got in the car, you wouldn't be able to adjust the seat, would you? Right. Now, the other interesting thing about this... Yeah, so the other interesting thing is this thing's got a date on the top of it of the 3rd of May 2015 or 2018. It's possible that it was rebuilt by somebody, I don't know. I should imagine that any warranty has expired on that by now. So let me put this car back together, and I'm going to diagnose further on why both mirrors are operating at the same time on this. Right, so we're all back to square one again. Everything's back in Gary's car, all working beautifully. So the refurbed ECU and his switch on the dash, everything works. Put the ECU back in here again, and put the switch on the dash. Seat working. Windows. Mirrors now doing nothing. So you can hear the ECU clicking. So I think the problem is that when I put the other ECU in, it operated both mirrors, but this ECU in the other car operated one mirror perfectly, the other mirror half of its function, which is the same problem I was getting on this. Now I'm not getting that. So the heater speed control on your internal heater doesn't work properly unless it's on full speed. Well, the reason for that is it's a variable resistor that sits on the bulkhead inside here. It's about here on the bulkhead. And if that has worn out, and I think the one on this car has, then you need to change it. Now, if someone's changed it already, then they've done you a massive favour. However, if it's still factory original, then you need to get prepared for this. So, why do you need to get prepared to do this, Richard? And by the way, all I've done here is I've removed the radio heater control surround. I have removed the fascia vent across the front here. I've then disconnected the fixings on each end of the aircon unit, pulled it forwards and dropped it down. And I'll show you why. Right, got my torch. So, we're going to go in here. See the red connector? That's the connector that we need to disconnect in order to pull the wiring through the bulkhead in order to change the resistor. Can you see what is going on just to the very left of the red connector and below the yellow wire? Yeah, it's a zip tie. So they've actually zip tied the loom to the connector, so you cannot pull that through, not without getting in there with a pair of snippers and snipping that stupid little zip tie. Now, all I can really say is that someone at Load Lane, when they built this car, that was their job, to put that fucking zip tie in place. It's pointless going anywhere near trying to get your hand in through here, through the deck panel hole, which I probably won't. I'll probably end up removing the deck, which means the bonnet needs to come off. But you can, in theory, if I put my torch down for a second, balance the torch there. Now, if I were to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out easy. No, it's got screws in there. When this is out of the way, and you get the foam out that's behind it, then you drill the two pop rivets here and here that hold the cage, which holds the foam in place. Then you can just about get your hand in there. It's tight. It's tight and it's not pleasant. In fact, what I can do is I can show you on this car here, because this will have exactly the same problem. So, let me just adjust the camera so that it goes that way round. Now, on this one, the resistor is not there because it's an earlier car, but you take the vent out, you take the pop rivet out here and here, so you can get this bar out of the way, and then you see the metal blank in there that is for a left-hand drive wiper motor on these early cars. Now, on the later cars with the plastic heater boxes, there's a bracket on the outside of that box which then holds the variable resistor that gives you speeds 1 and 2. Okay? And it's that needs to be replaced. Now, if you can get your hand in there and do that, then it is entirely possible, because I have got my hand halfway in there and I am touching the panel. But you need to get all the other shit out of the way first and foremost. The alternative then is to lift the bonnet, take the bonnet off, pull the hinges down, because they're sprung hinges on these concealed hinge bonnets, pull the hinges down, and then you may be able to do this. We'll give it a go. I'm not going to do it now because it's Thursday and it's about 6 o'clock, and I wanted to get this zip tie cut so that I can put the aircon box back up in position, and then I'm going to work on the centre console. Now, the problem I've got with the centre console, apart from the fact the plastics are broken on it, I wanted to repair that. I also wanted to get to the zip tie, but also, while I'm this far in, take the switch off the heater unit and just double check the switch is actually, not having a problem. What can happen is, as the motor unit starts to run tighter, then the resistance in the loom increases, I guess, then the heat increases and the switch melts, and the switch starts to do unusual things. So what the customer's told me is happening is that when he goes to position 1, the fan is running, goes to position 2, it slows down, goes to position 3, it goes full speed. So 2 is 1, 1 is 2, and 3 is 3. Pretty much like the real world at the moment, where up is down, down is up, and left is right, etc, etc, etc. There we go. Just demonetised this video, Richard. Well done. Now, I've not got to the bottom of the haunted mirrors. I think it's a dodgy earth. The fact that with the ECU, the repaired ECU under the seat, both mirrors were operating at the same time, would suggest to me that there's possibly an earth-related issue. I've been through all of the diagrams, and there's no mention of anything along those lines. So the key earths I need to play with, by the way, and there's a little bit of chopping and changing on this video. I haven't done that for a while, have I? A little bit of chopping and changing on this video. There's one bunch of earths there. There's another bunch of earths here. And then the last bunch of earths that relates to these circuits is just behind the battery, underneath the header tank. So I need to disconnect them, clean up the contacts, reconnect, make sure that they are all making a good earth contact, and see if we are getting any better. I know we've got a fault in the ECU because the up and down on that side doesn't work. So there is definitely a fault on the ECU. I also know that the interface between the switch on the dash up here, switch on the dash over there, and the ECU is kind of working, because we can hear the relays in the ECU clicking as I'm operating the switch. What's not happening is the mirrors ain't moving. So I think that might be the reason why. So it all ends up being a number of jobs just getting jumbled. Hello, you're looking fine. Why's your bonnet up? Ah, different video. No disasters, folks. Don't worry about that. Fret not. Rest thy sphincters. So yes, I think what I just need to do is to get the connector snipped. Then I can push the dash back up into position and go home. Before I headed off home, ignition on, I thought I'd just disconnect the switch and see what's going on here. So, position 1. Oh, hang on a sec. Rear wipers on. Rear wipers off. I'm getting nothing on positions 1 and 2. Go to 3. It works. Then go back to 2. Nothing. It was howling just now. I shall insert in here of the motor howling. Hi Henry, right, I'm just diagnosing your heater speed issue. It looks dramatic. There'll be a video on this. Right. Hear that noise? That's your heater motor seizing up. So it works flat out, and then it doesn't work on the 2 lower speeds properly. This so it howled on positions 1 and 2, and yes, they were reversed. Now I'm getting nothing on 1 and 2. Just imagine if I leave it on 3. Yeah, it's doing nothing on 1 and 2. So the resistor's definitely gone. Ignition off. And I need to get that panel off there. And look now, it's 6:24. I don't want to do it today. I'm not doing it today. So I need to get the resistor out of there. I'm probably going to need to get the heater unit out as well, because the motor is howling. We know how that needs to happen. It does mean that the rest of the centre console needs to come out. Very much like in the left-hand drive video. You will have seen by this point the centre console's not gone back in there yet because I'm waiting for a carpet to arrive from Nationwide Trim. Oh, nothing's ever bloody easy, is it? Right, I'm going to clear up. I've had enough.